We're gonna talk about joy. I've been on this joy message lately. Hello, beloved community. Hello, Joanna. Yeah, bringing a transmission of joy today, my loves. It is a joy transmission. And why is joy so important for us to create what we desire, my loves? Let's chat about that. I've been enjoying my peppermint tea. How are you? So good to see you. I just came out of my moon portal where I was super introverted. And so I just came out of it. Feeling the joy of illumination. I've been on this joy topic, been on prosperity topic, joy topic, fun, right? And the reason I wanted to just offer this sweet, gentle reminder, because you already know this, right? You already know this, but joy is the most magnetic vibration that we can tap into. And especially if you are launching something, I know a lot of my peers are here, a lot of my creators, a lot of my visionaries and thought leaders. I see you launching your programs. I see you sharing your message. I see you being visible. And I know it takes what? It takes enthusiasm. It takes a passion for your message, right? It takes persistence. I just spoke about the power of persistence on my YouTube channel, how persistence helps us build a very strong character, right? So beloveds, whether you're launching something, whether you're simply desiring to bring more happiness to your life. Oh, I just held myself back from messaging. No whining is allowed. No whining is allowed for spiritual warrior women who are the majority of my tribe. Yeah, men are always welcomed and appreciated in my tribe, but I'm realizing 85-90% of people who actually engage with what I publish are my fellow women. So I'm just gonna speak to you. Yeah, I chose joy. Yeah, beloveds, there is such a rhythm in our creative life, and sometimes I notice in myself. Sometimes in the past, I would value being productive higher than I would value finding my joy first, right? And until I realized when I connect with my joy, I become so efficient in everything I create. And the productivity and the creation simply flows out of this staying in my joy. I want to welcome the new beings who are joining to listen to this joy transmission. And I'd like to share with you the Galactic Maya teachings. Let me know in the comments if you're familiar with Galactic Maya transmission that really came to us around, a lot of us know the prophecy 2012, but there was a deeper prophecy on 2013. And the prophecy was that the feminine suppression is over. The feminine voice collectively is over. In 2013, it was all the chains have been lifted energetically, and the feminine all over the world began to feel this call to rise. And the way the feminine creates, we create very differently than we create through our masculine essence, right? We want to honor our masculine essence because it's here for a reason. But in my own life and in the life of what I share with my community, there was a drastic, incredible, powerful shift happen when my inner masculine surrendered into service to my divine feminine, right? So my inner masculine is my protector, my inner king, my inner provider, but it's in service to the feminine from the early moment I wake up to the last moment I fall asleep. And the inner feminine in us is that magnetic power, right? That magnetizes everything to us. So what does our inner feminine require every single day? Well, the very first one is, of course, beauty, right? The path of beauty. So when I wake up, beloveds, I appreciate the beauties. That's why I always, how you start your day is you set the vibrational tone. So if you already live this, then my invitation for you to remind your community how it's not selfish to seek beauty in the morning when you wake up, right? So for me, the way I start my day, I'm gonna take you to my backyard. The way I start my day, beloveds, first of all, my kitty Gracie wants to get outside. But we together, we walk outside and I touch the earth and I make a connection with Mama Gaia. And I say, thank you, Mother, for giving me one more day to be a vessel for you. That's how I start my day, with gratitude. And then I look at the sky, I look at the trees, and I fill myself with appreciation of nature's beauty. So you set the tone, right? The beauty elevates your spirit. The beauty immediately raises your vibration. And again, if you already know this, take it to your communities. Remind your people why it's important, right? Why is it important? Then, of course, we have silliness. All the ways that we can cultivate joy. And why is it important? Because it is so effortless to magnetize when you are in the highest vibration, which is joy. My ally, Yvonne de la Flor, has joined. Every time I'm with Yvonne, we just laugh nonstop. The same as Marcy Locke, my other leadership ally. Beloveds, so, and I also, when I was sharing on my YouTube video today about persistence. There is a natural drop of enthusiasm, right, Joanne? I wanted to explain and kind of dive into it. Whenever you bring a project forward, maybe you are in the program launch right now, and maybe you're filming a series, maybe you're filming a product, maybe you are creating a book, maybe you are offering your new redesigned mastermind experience. I have noticed there is a natural drop of enthusiasm in the process of a launch. Don't let it dishearten you or discourage you. It's simply a sign that you gotta refuel yourself and boost your joy. So whenever I launch any products or programs or big experiences, I look at it as a journey, right? As a journey. I bring a lot of passion in the beginning because I really believe in what I offer. I will never offer anything unless I so believe in that I just can't help but talk about it, right? And to bring it forward. And then I have my joy boosters experiences that make sure that I stay on the highest vibration, and the highest vibration of creating from bliss. Creating because it brings me incredible sense of happiness to share my creative light with my community. So this creative boost, they can be the joy boost. They can be as simple as really sitting in nature and admiring the beauty of the goddess nature, right? And then whatever else brings you joy. For me, beloveds, what brings me a deep sense of pleasure is very connected to my joy, right? So, for example, going to receive massage and have an experience of a skilled body worker aligning you and healing you, that brings me a lot of pleasure, a lot of joy, right? And then also give yourself a joyful anticipation. For example, what I'm referring to, don't use the reward system with yourself, right? Reward implies some kind of punishment. But for me, it's like I decided to go to Spain in August for my birthday. And that's a joyful anticipation that I'm looking forward to. The feminine really loves that in us, right? The feminine loves the sense of anticipation. So give your inner queen something to look forward to, something that is really incredible, right? Whether it's a trip to Greece that you wanted to take, whether it is a road trip where you take yourself to a magical bed and breakfast, whether it's a cabin in Mount Shasta, What is it for you? But that's, something to look forward to, that you're not just productive and focused and resilient entrepreneur. That is great. Keep those qualities. But now add that joyful anticipation, right? And then the joy, the main principle of why creating from bliss is so important, is that joy magnetizes. And I began talking about galactic Maya transmission and then got completely sidetracked. So when I was guided to galactic Maya wisdom transmission, it's a prophecy of the rainbow warriors that have been called by the Creator to come back to earth and to restore what we value, right? To restore the sense of beauty, to restore living as a creators, to restore this message that our universe is a holographic universe. So when I was reading that Rainbow Warrior prophecy, they were saying that in the era of the new myth, we're living and weaving a new collective story, a new collective myth. Joy is the key code for you to magnetize your allies, your beloveds, your true soul companions, and in the galactic Maya, it's called your companions of destiny, right? Don't even start me on the twin flame conversation. I spoke about it yesterday at a talk, how I'm so over of this teaching of the twin flame. And if you resonate with that and you want to hold on to it, that's okay. I released this twin flame story. This idea that you only have one match. And unless you find that match, there is something going to be missing, right? I really resonate with galactic Maya transmission that talks about we incarnate as a soul group, and we are guided to meet our companions of destinies, those people who really see you, those people who recognize the beauty of your soul and who will not let you shy away from standing in the full joy, in the full radiance, and the full magnetism. So I really love this idea of companions of destiny, right? Who are those for you? And the way you're going to find them, beloveds, the way you're going to send the frequency, right, is through vibration of joy. So looking and searching and cultivating your joy is the most radical act of true self-love. True self-love, right? And the true self-love will give you a sense of stability, a sense of centeredness in your being, right? That you can, because you know that joy magnetizes. Joy magnetizes, right? So this is very, very powerful transmission. I've been on these joy conversations lately. And joy is similar, fun and joy and pleasure. This is how we fuel our inner feminine, right? And our inner feminine within us is that magnetic spiral, right? That moves into the quantum field and calls from the quantum field what is of the highest alignment to you. And when your inner feminine, when your inner queen is nourished, your inner king is strong enough to protect you, to build structures in your life, right? To finish what you started with a sense of joy. So this is very, very powerful, beloveds. And that's what I do on a daily basis. I say, what would bring me joy? What would bring me joy? Well, what would spark joy? I'm a big lover of flowers. Sometimes I go to flower shops just to be around so many flowers. And it instantly boosts my joy, right? It's such a simple practice. Oh, welcome, beloveds. Welcome, my new divine beings who just joined. I see you all. So another joy booster is art. One of the reasons I live in Southern California, and I keep moving to these art-inspired beach towns, is because art has been a method of uplifting your vibration since the time of Lemuria, beloveds. I soon gonna bring to you a Lemurian energy healing experience that's been in my heart for so long. My healer archetype wanted to just really come through very soon. So I'm excited to bring you Lemurian transmission. But for now, I'd like to share with you, Lemurians were one of the earlier civilizations that have been seeded by our Pleiadian star mothers. So they were very refined beings. They were luminous beings, right? Their bodies were truly light bodies. And the way they taught their children and their society is through art. The art was the highest form of transferring the embodied wisdom and also uplifting the vibration and expanding consciousness. So whenever you feel like flat and you're emotionally just struggling, take yourself to an art gallery, right? Be around inspiring art and watch how it activates something in you. It boosts your inspiration, right? Because the art speaks to your right brain, to your creative brain. So all of these very simple experiences, taking yourself to a flower shop, right? Getting yourself flowers or planting flowers, going to a place of nursery and planting flowers, even better, right? But all of these ways, it is the most self-loving thing you can do, especially if you are my peer and you are in service to other people, right? If you constantly give and give and give inspiration and magnetism and wisdom that you're sharing, it is your daily practice, my loves, to say, how can I refuel? How can I boost my vibration? Because then you can go back to your community, go back to the people that listen to your wisdom from the place of this radiance, the soul radiance. So remember that the joy is magnetic. So whether you're calling in new clients, whether you are manifesting a dream home, whether you are stepping up in your leadership in a completely new way, whatever you're manifesting or intending, make sure that you get yourself in the vibration of joy first, right? And only from that vibration of joy, you set your intentions, you launch your creations, you share yourself, right? Because it's very, very powerful. Then you create and you manifest as a true alchemist. You work with the highest level of vibration to ignite the momentum, right? So that's why joy is so important. That's why joy is so important, beloved. Yes, Alvina says, with my rest I create. I love that. And the power of slowing down, loves. I've noticed that the more I slow down and sit in silence, this is another message that wants to come through. I wanted to do a whole other video about it. But let's talk about worry, because it's either something that you may be going through or people that you serve, right? How do we support our communities right now when people begin to worry about economy, worry about unstable future, right? So this is a very powerful conversation, because the future is the future has always been uncertain. This is the reality of this dimension, right? So the sooner we get on board that we do not know the future, and there is a lot of grace in that. Why do we need to worry about something that is completely out of our control? But what we can do, we can enter the bliss of silence within. Whether it's for you, this message, for me, or for the communities that we lead, beloveds, when people begin to worry, and whether they are obsessed about the gas prices, or who is running the political office, or the stocks that doing all of this, we're losing our power, we're losing our joy when we focus on this external dance. Where we find the stillness and radiance and magnetism is when we enter the silence within. The number one solution of dissolving worry is to actually enter silence, right? And connecting with the heart wisdom. And the heart wisdom gives us the precise message, such as find the relief, find what will bring you joy, go to the flower shop, get a massage, right? Or give yourself a massage. There's so many self-soothing techniques. Yes, exactly, Yelena. Hi, it's just getting comfortable with uncertainty is a superpower. Beloveds, it is a superpower. And this is a superpower that you and I get to bring to our communities. Whatever is common knowledge for you and I, right, is not a common knowledge for the people who are looking for a deeper kind of certainty that they cannot find in external world. So this is why this message of making sure that you are filled in from within, making sure that you radiate your joy, the joy of awakened being, right? The awakened being is a joyful being. Awakened being is not a being that worries about something that we cannot control. I am so happy that the future is not in my hands. I am so grateful for that, you know? I'm so grateful that my job is to follow my heart wisdom, to follow my creative inspiration, and to follow my joy. And the path unfolds one step at a time. And when I live in that space, everything that is truly meant for me always finds me. Always finds me. And even those experiences that we can call obstacles or perceived obstacles, they come to us to strengthen us. They come to us to help us build a very strong character. Because in order for us to support humanity in the next 5 years, we're rapidly approaching year 2027, when we are literally going through mutation of our species. We're becoming more feeling-based species instead of living in our intellects. We're going collectively through this mutation of learning to live from our center, right, where our true power is. This is why, beloveds, learning to be joy ambassadors is so key for us. So we remind our communities that happiness, that elusive happiness, we can chase it, but joy is available right here, and all it takes is just sit and listen and feel your being. And remind yourself that you are alive, reminding yourself that you can breathe, reminding yourself that you have abundance of creative ideas, that you have abundance of people who see you and love you, that you have abundance of knowledge and inspiration on these internets, and you have also abundance of trust in your heart. Wow, you realize you have so much to be grateful for, to be alive. I'm so happy to be with you, beloveds. Do you have any questions? I've been on this joy conversation with you. And while I am listening to your questions, or waiting for your questions, the sun came out, my loves. We have this, I live in Southern California. We have this June gloom experience, but now you can see the sun is coming out. You can even see the ocean right there. Yeah, you can see it behind the palm trees. Alchemist, hi. How do I, as a man, inspire joy every day without the help of a woman? Wow, that's a great question, Alchemist. I love that. Connect with your inner woman. This is the time, connect with your inner feminine. And you do it, right? And it's, I find that when men can connect with their inner feminine, it's so inspiring for the feminine, right? Because then you can cultivate that experience. So whatever brings you pleasure, Alchemist. Pleasure is the way we pray in the goddess tradition. It was so liberating for me. So liberating to me, right? Like true pleasure, not the numbing, right? If your name is Alchemist, then I have a feeling you know the difference, right? Connecting to your inner queen. You have your inner king, but you also have your inner queen, right? Your inner feminine, your inner intuitive muse. So connect to your inner muse. What does your inner muse desire? Beauty, pleasure, sensory experiences, right? Yes, that is how you do it. And then if that is your desire, then you can magnetize a woman who just amplifies. You know, she doesn't give it to you. She amplifies what you know how to cultivate from within. Yum, yum, yum. Where are you from, Alchemist? Where are you logging in? Margot, how do I stay in peace and joy with so many people in my house, kids and husband? Yes, Margot, I love that question. Well, your joy, he says from Sovereign Frequency, I love it. I love that question, beloved, because your joy will be a dynamic practice. You know, the path of having kids and a husband, you move through your reality by finding these pockets in your day of micro alignment, right? Micro alignment. So, for example, I'll give you an example. When I lead events, right? Let's say it's a 10-day event, and I am around a lot of people, a lot of energy, right? And how do I get to stay in my highest alignment to be able to hold this field of energy? And what I'm doing, love, I'm finding these micro alignments. My morning practice is my base. So every morning is I start with me, right? And I've coached many moms, and it's like whether you can start your morning practice giving yourself that intention that perfection is not required. It's your authentic pockets of joy that you can find, that's moments of stillness, moments of appreciation, looking at your life, looking at your ordinary life with lots of dynamism, husband and kids, right? And if you're able to open your heart to the totality of your ordinary life, I promise you the joy begins to spill over, right? That's my suggestion for you, that finding those pockets of centering, and then knowing that the highest act of love for your kids and for your family is for you to have an incredible self-care, where you know, maybe it's once a week you say, I love you, my beautiful people, but I am taking myself on a date. So Margot, I have this practice where I take myself on a date every week. And it's been really, really nourishing, you know, where you romance yourself, where you don't wait for people to do it for you, you romance yourself on a weekly basis. You begin to radiate so much magnetism, your husband won't be able to take his hands off you, right? Like, what happened? You're so magnetic and so sexy. You're like, I romance myself. All right. Yes. Currently in Kauai. Hi, darling, says, where to start when joy is very unfamiliar? I love that question, beloved. Start with finding something in your environment that inspires a sense of awe, you know, like beauty. I remember the time where my heart was so bruised And there was so much sadness in my chest from unprocessed trauma that I didn't feel joy, right? But what I could connect was to connect to beauty. And the beauty has an instantaneous effect on our psychology. And so you can walk in nature, and really the nature is your number one therapist. Nature knows how to heal us, right? And finding anything in your environment that inspires this. Wow. Right? Talking to trees, talking to birds, really making your relationship with the animal world, with the nature world, as your number one priority, and you will begin to see your heart coming online. Your heart begins to soften, and you may spontaneously find yourself crying. Those are the tears of joy, right? So, beloved, if the joy is not accessible, find the way to connect to beauty. Yes, get into nature. Nature is our best therapist. I see Derek has joined. Hi, good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, Alex, I'm taking questions. I am taking questions. Becoming our best lover. You know it. Becoming our best. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Hileta. Becoming our best lover. Let's talk about that. You know, it's one thing when you magnetize an amazing lover. And we had those, right? Maybe we have them. But nothing can substitute you becoming your own beloved. That is the ultimate, well, from my perspective, loves, it takes a whole other meaning when we discover the true love within. The true love within. Because then, from that place of alignment, any partner that you call in to share the journey, you don't have the heaviness of expectation for them, right? You simply share the journey because you always know where the source of true lasting nourishment is in your heart. Is in your heart. When you find the lover within and the beloved within, by the law of attraction, let's just call it by the law of resonance, you're going to magnetize a person who has done the same level of work. And it's so much more beautiful to share a relationship, to steer your relationship with two beings who have a source of deep, deep self-love that anchored in their connection with their higher self. So then by coming together, you create a sacred trinity, right? You amplify everything. All right. I love that this topic of joy resonates with you. And yes, thank you so much for following me. If you resonate with this transmission, you're more than welcome to follow my account. I'm here a lot. Because it brings me joy, loves. Everything I launch in the world, it's seriously because it brings me joy. Creativity is such a turn on for me. You know, I love the creative process. I love the uncertainty of that. I love the wildness of creative process. I love the conversation that happens between you and an idea. An idea comes to us from archetypal plane, and then you and the vision, right? The vision comes to you, a vision for your life, a vision for what's possible for you to create. And then you dance around each other. You know, it's kind of like when you meet somebody, you're kind of curious about them. You're like, I see you. Curious about you. Your vision is like that. Your creative vision is like that. Your creative vision is kind of like checking you out from the idea plane, from the causal plane. They're like, that human could be a good partner. Yeah, that human, they show up. They love the creative process. Let's talk to that human so the creative vision begins to enchant you. Maybe it begins to visit you in your dreams or your psychedelic journeys, right? Or through a really great body work. And then once you make that connection, here's the next step. you step into creative partnership because you are in the physical and your vision is a non-physical. You really need each other, right? But when you practice such a devotion to your joy, you able to operate from the highest frequency available. So you're the highest proximity to the brilliance of creative vision that is possible for you. Right? Darlings, you know what else brings me joy? A ceremonial cacao. Yeah, I make cacao. I was actually going to make a cacao right now. And I jump on this live stream and I'm having so much fun with you. It's been really, really fun. Any other questions that you have? Aluna, I will see you at the Gene Keys next week. What are some common obstacles to people having their joy? Thank you so much, Zahara, for this question. The number one obstacle is guilt. The number one obstacle is guilt. You know, like, I don't deserve it, right? Or postponement of your joy. I'm gonna feel joy when I crush that next goal, I reach that milestone, I enroll that client, then I will feel joy, right? So we're actually going backwards in that. So guilt, any kind of belief systems that you are not worthy to seek joy, right? And that's where the unraveling happens, and also, you know, it's like, I'm gonna tell you this: the survivor guilt. So if you have had a very challenging childhood, right? Very challenging childhood, and you broke through from this dense environment, and you begin discovering how the universe works and how you can create your reality. You begin really making huge momentum in your life. That when you visit your parents or your siblings, sometimes we can unconsciously shrink ourselves so we don't trigger, that our radiance and our happiness and our joyful being doesn't trigger somebody's unprocessed experiences, right? But I'm here to encourage you to, you know, that truly the path of awakening is the path to becoming your most authentic self. And when you open up yourself to the joy as the most natural emotion to feel on a daily basis, it doesn't mean that you're not gonna have your dips, your emotional dips. That just means you are human. And just like the weather, sometimes you're gonna have clouds and the rain and the storm. Our emotional landscape is very similar to that, right? And the more creative you are, the more you tend to experience melancholic dips. I am not a stranger to melancholy land, right? But it's simply a sign that you are going through some kind of, you know, alchemy. Yeah. So beautiful. I love it. Thanks, Derek. He's just so engaging in the comments. It's so good. Love it. Okay, darlings, I think it's time to make cacao. Not but. I'm just having so much fun with you. I wanted to say thank you for joining to this impromptu live stream. And remember, you are magnetic when you're in your joy. And if you desire to magnetize what is truly meant for you, right? We don't always get what we want, but we always get what we need, right? We always, by the benevolence of the universe, we always get what we need. And when you are in your joy, you're not attached to the outcome. You're not attached to specific way how things should go. You are in that innocence. You are in that playfulness of exploration of your life. And when you are in that place, you are walking the path of serendipity. Synchronicity is the way you live, right? So I love you. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again. Big kiss.